Tammy Bruce, Fox News contributor, host of Get Tammy Bruce on Fox Nation. Well, of course, Buttigieg blamed somebody who was president, who actually got there before he did.
Right.
He was there before the transportation secretary. It took Pete Buttigieg 20 days to get there.
It did. And, you know, they're arguing that this doesn't matter, that going to a place where there's a tragedy doesn't matter. But these are people that we've hired, in fact, to fix these things. You hear in all of their conversations, it's not about what are they going to do about it, how are they going to solve these problems. But I'll remind people of Bill Clinton. I worked on his first campaign, and his numbers were not very good in his first term. And then there was the Murrah Federal Building explosion, and he went to Oklahoma City. He was genuinely empathetic. Genuinely, that's where we first heard, I feel your pain. It saved his presidency, and it made a difference for the Americans and for the people of Oklahoma City. That is what you do when there's a tragedy.
Yeah, and we still talk about that line, I feel your pain. Here's former Ohio Democratic Congressman Tim Ryan on President Biden's failure to visit East Palestine, Ohio, nearly a month after the disaster.
Showing up is 90%. I think being there, I think that the fact that Secretary Buttigieg was there the other day was a good sign. I would encourage the president to be there. Just presence, be there, show them you care. People don't care what you know. They want to know you care.
You know, I found this, and I wanted to share this with you and Tammy. Flashback to 2016. Remember who was vice president? That would be Biden. So he's seen this dance of not showing up at a disaster before. President Obama also waited, facing some strong criticism for not going to Flint, Michigan, nearly 2 years into the poisoned water crisis there. He finally made the trip. And here's a clip from, I mean, who doesn't think Michael Moore is not a liberal? Here's the documentary Fahrenheit 11/9. Watch.
That's why I'm here. To tell you directly that I see you and I hear you. We invest. Can I get some water? Come on up here. I want a glass of water. I really did need a glass of water. This is not a stunt.
What? He wet his lips. He did not drink it. He didn't sip it. He wet his lips.
There was an audible gasp in the audience. People were just like absolutely dejected.
I don't know why anybody would have advised him to do that, and I don't know why he would do it.
And to the average person, then the Democrats don't look like the people who are going to come to the rescue.
Right.
John Podesta, former advisor to Obama. We have seen this dance before.
And we saw it with East Palestine. Same thing. Buttigieg, other government, the mayor, having a glass of water in someone's kitchen. So it is these demonstrations. The Democrats are obsessed, as is the system, with imagery. They don't want to be seen with the tragedy physically. Remember the oil rig explosion in the
early in Obama's
yes, and he was
presidency.
just pictured on the beach looking at the sand. They think it's just image, so they don't want to go there. These are people where everything is theater, where it is a stunt, they underestimate the American people. The shock on the faces of people in Flint, and that is still going on. There's a moms group and a parents group in Flint that have now banded together with a mom and parents group from East Palestine, and Aaron Brockovich went. And this is the American people are realizing that leadership matters, but they've been taken for a ride with Democrat leadership. Democrats know this. It doesn't matter your skin color. If this is nonpartisan. These are existential issues for families. We need solutions. It's why we pay taxes. Flint is still in trouble. And East Palestine will be in trouble for quite some time until we get new leadership.
That's a mark on his presidency. And blaming anybody else doesn't make that go away. He went and still didn't solve it.
That's correct.
So maybe that's why Biden doesn't want to go. He knows that even his transportation secretary couldn't really get in there. I got to let you go, but I'm really glad we got to watch that together for the first time on the air.
Great job. Thank you.
I'm looking at this very closely. And that women's group in East Palestine? Yeah. Let's dig in. Let's get to know them.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.